Hello guys, welcome to my first video on YouTube. So today we are gonna do a program on my Wi-Fi manager, which is done as my first project because I found out that looking out for an ESP32 Wi-Fi manager, all the Wi-Fi managers out there that are built or forked on are just kind of just basic with its feature rather than it looking better, cool, or like more like a UI interface, just for the working principle only. So I thought something that should be cleaner, futuristic, and has all the features, and it should be like has an hands-on experience to be usable. So what I have done is I have thought of making one of my own. So finally I have made it done. And over here, first I needed an idea where to start it off. So I went and found a ChatGPT AI website developer, I mean website maker, where I gave a prompt to make a ESP32 Wi-Fi manager and just gave me this code like of how it is. So as this is an HTML code, it can't be directly run off of it. So what then I have used is ChatGPT eventually because I don't know much of coding. And what I ended up is putting this code into ChatGPT and it just told me something about tailwind which is in the code or something. I learned about its .css. Then I found out the issue that .css can't run like offline. It should be embedded in the programs. It should be saved in ESP32 or it should have its files in it because we can't connect to internet on a UI before the UI gets connected to internet, right? It's kind of like a back loop. So I think you get what I meant. So because of that issue, then I had to integrate half of the CSS. Like I wanted to look like the UI which I saw there. Then after a more point of me doing my own research and works, this is what happened. You see all these branches out here. What these branches mean is that, for example, this branch itself. After me like asking ChatGPT to do something on a code, what happens over here is that it just does this code, like does and gives the output of the code. And what happens is like at some point I asked ChatGPT to like alter something and it just literally alters everything on the next code. So I have to tell it to fix it and bring that back, and still some things will be broken again. So what I found is that when you go like at the end of the last conversation before one which worked, like the last one which worked before you put the next conversation and just didn't work, like it changed everything. What I found out is that like if you go to the three dots at the end of the conversation that was working till then, like the last one before you asked it to do anything, like if you tap on it there's like branching and each other option. If you do that option it just takes you to a new branch which is completely like the point till that one becomes the last one. So you could re-ask the question and this time you might get a better answer. That's how these all branches came up. Literally it took so many hours and each branch is literally pages of code works like which I ask hours, days of work itself. And finally it came up and it was eventually started building up after like 10-15 branches or something. And I added features, fixed bugs, found problems, sometimes some buttons work, time delays, so many issues were there. All of these I found fixed, and some I had to transition changes. And there are so many like lines of code errors I published. And there's this one more piece of information that I found. Nobody taught about this branch stuff on it. I itself found it just when I was looking through what all this. Next information that I found is that at the end of every code, it shows which version of GPT it was used. Mostly currently GPT-5 mini or just GPT-5 or GPT-4. What happens is that for us, for programming these code which are more lines. We need something that's relatively more, what do you call, what, like it should be reliable, right? So, and all reliable codes we could just check and see that it will be too long. The reliable codes will be long enough. So if you go over here itself, for example, if I take the code, I see this is how much a reliable code is. And if you go like down of this, you can see that it's made by a GPT-5 thinking mini. You see that? So I found out that GPT-5 thinking mini is the one that makes the codes the more real ones. Real means the ones which work, which are without errors and which is done correctly. So after finding out after some branches, I noticed that like I can't get it always. It's automatically chosen by the system according to the question that's given by us on which GPT to be given. But I found out that if you put if after putting a prompt away itself, like you should add a prompt after like to its end, like to fix it, and like do with GPT-5 or put like dot GPT-5 thinking, which always made it to do with GPT-5 thinking itself. So whatever prompt that you give, just put it out at its end, put GPT-5 thinking at its end, and press send. You will get always the answer in GPT-5 thinking, even if it's like literally the easiest question. Also, you will get the reliable answer, which is mostly true. Like I haven't got any false ones, and only GPT-5 thinking is the one that has been helping me till now, which most of these codes are. The only downside of the using GPT-5 thinking mini is that if you are just a free user like me, the problem is that after like some uses like 4-5 lines of this long codes after fix, what happens is that randomly you will just get a breakdown period where like three and a half hours they will tell you like you'll just run out of tokens, so you will have to wait for three and a half hours before GPT-5 will reset its time limit. So that is one of the next issues that faced, because more time I have to wait now, not just ask questions, wait for the next question. There were issues with this AP fallback thing. If you see over here, most of the branches over here has the same thing itself, AP fallback, where like sometimes the UI just connects, and what happens is that when the connected Wi-Fi disconnects, the UI never comes back up and we just trapped or bricked. Finally, I fixed all these issues, and thus I added Wi-Fi bars to show signals, which the bars also just malfunctioned by like the height and the level of the bars being wrong, which also I just fixed manually in code. I don't really know much of coding, and for the new beginners out there, I will tell you, you could start doing with Arduino IDE, but it's better if you transition to Visual Studio. It will be, what do you call, more easier to see the code lines. Not also that you could use extensions and help yourself. There are so many extensions out there in VS Code, which is good to use and which helps with coding. So there's ESP IDF, there's another framework, but I wouldn't recommend that. First of all, as a newbie, I also didn't know about ESP IDF, and I just installed it and tried. That's when I understood it's like bare bone heart level stuff. For a beginner, it won't be that much of easy, but once you advance, that's one of the best frameworks out there. So ESP-IDF, if you're gonna do with that, like it's like moreover you will get the most use out of your ESP32. So like, and the coding of ESP-IDF is like kind of hard. It's not like similar to Arduino IDE, so it's much different. So Arduino IDE itself is what I'm using on platform IO and with VS Code, as you have seen over here. So as of now, when you are making, I'm currently gonna post this on a GitHub library. So this is its final header file. This is its final main CPP file, which you call, and this is its example sketch. So all this will be linked down below, and my GitHub's link is also there for this, and anyone can fork this or build on top of it. Any more updates on this will be done moreover. And for those who are waiting to see how its workings are, I'll show you how it works now. And this is how it works. I'll show you. So I have connected the ESP32. Now I'm gonna tell it to. I have programmed this. I mean, upload this code to ESP32 before. So I'm gonna give the monitor option. I'm gonna check. I mean, monitor this ESP32 which I have plugged in. So it might take a while. Let me check. Yeah, sometimes the terminal will take some time to show up. Let's see if, yeah, ESP32 setup is over here. So you can see what my final UI outcome is. So you can also tell me if you want to fix any of the stuff or updates, but check it out and how cool it looks. I hope you guys also like it. After it gets connected, it should come out with a redirect pop-up, which just like gives you a redirect, but it's not guaranteed every time. So if it doesn't come up, the normal 19.2.168.4.1 is the normal Wi-Fi manager UI. And look how it is. It's clean, neat, simple. You press the scan button. It has the whole transition UI elements. It's kind of cool. It shows a very Wi-Fi. I mean, secure. If it has security, is the DBMC. It took some time for the redirect to happen, but it worked. You can select your Wi-Fi, put your password. You can specify IP address if you want to set it to your device as is. Your router gateway and your subnet. Connect and save, and just gets connected. Over you have the forget Wi-Fi button and reboot button. It also shows the model of the chipset, core, and the flash of the unit. It also shows the uptime, and if the Wi-Fi is connected and there's no web server running on the device, this Wi-Fi manager will be shown on the screen if no other web server is running. If a web server is there, it will override the Wi-Fi manager as long as it's connected. And if there's no web server, this signal strength will be also shown over here, which is the same as of what over here. Your MAC address of your device will be also here. And this is my final version. And as of now, this is mostly optimized. It's so good to work and just works. It's clean, it works. Anyone can modify it and work with it. It's so good, and I like my version better. If any more updates or anything needs to be changed, you can comment down below. And if you do like my video, subscribe to my channel, and do also press that bell icon, and also put likes and also share. Thank you for watching.